Hello YouTube! Hello from Moscow, Russia. Yes, I came back to Moscow. Last time I made my video in Austin, Texas, and we were about to leave for Mexico. And we spent 1 week, amazing week in Mexico, together with my daughter's family. I am so grateful to my daughter Anastasia, to her husband, my son-in-law Alexei, and my granddaughter Lily. It was an amazing time we spent together for the last 6 months, traveling across the country. We've been living for 4 different states, starting from California, in Texas and Florida, back to Texas, and then finally in Colorado. And I learned a great deal of the country of the United States through this traveling experience, and I'd love to stay longer, but I couldn't because of the visa limitations. Anyway, the last experience was the experience with Mexico was interesting for me as a person who is from different continent, and a different continent means that for Europeans there are different destinations for their holiday trips. Like one of the affordable cheap destinations are Turkey and Egypt, and to me it was like, wow, so many similarities with Egypt. I mean, Mexico had lots of similarities with Egypt. Amazing weather, beautiful service at the hotel. One thing is interesting about the place we were staying in. It was at the Pacific Ocean, but the ocean itself was absolutely unswimmable, and in fact it was dangerous to swim there because of the current. Current is too strong, can pull you away from the beach, and people can get drowned. So it is interesting to have a vacation nearby the ocean, and you cannot swim there. It's quite a long beach, wide. I think it's about 300 meters away probably from the hotel, and yet you can't go into the ocean. Too dangerous to swim in it. But because the system, it was all inclusive, so lots of pools, different types of jet pools, big, small pools, and in one of the pools actually Lily even pooed in because, well, she's small, she's 2.5 years, and she actually potty trained, but that day she couldn't hold it and pooed into the pool. It was quite small, and a small pool, a jet pool. The hotel staff had to close down this particular pool because of us for a while. Anyway, so that's the experience with Mexico. Was lots of sunshine, ocean, lots of sand, and we had a great time spending together. Okay, now back to normal life. I am in Moscow, and in winter it's quite cold out there, and today I want to talk about habits. And it is a very interesting topic, at least for me, because I always wonder how we can improve our life. And in fact, our habits form our personality, form our lifestyle. So in order to have their lifestyle and change your life, changing your habits, introducing new ones, I think one of the answers to this question. So one of my dreams was actually to be able to make a front split. It was always my dream, and I could make it, but it was that much still go toward the floor. And only when I made a resolution that I wanted to achieve this front split and made a strong commitment to this goal, and I started to introduce a new habit to do stretching on almost everyday basis. So I introduced a habit, an everyday routine of doing about an hour of stretching, 5 days a week. And eventually in 6 months I achieved this goal. As you can see in the pictures taken in Mexico. I can brag now that I can make front split. So next goal is to achieve the middle split or side split, which is much harder and more dangerous actually for the body, for the hips. And I don't want to make it in a short time, and I want to just follow the way it goes, slowly but firmly going toward my goal. So the whole idea was introducing those habits of stretching every day was actually part of the other goal, because I wanted to a public speaking goal. I wanted to make public speaking a habit as well, because I struggle a lot actually while I'm making those speeches, and it takes lots of time, lots of my emotional power to put myself before camera and make the video. And I wanted to make it a daily routine. And I found out that one of the way to go to the more complex and sophisticated skill through the easier goals and less sophisticated skills, such as stretching. So stretching was actually one of the stages for me to build up a new skill in public speaking. So it's the whole strategy is to make myself confident with a smaller habit and go after the bigger one. And it's so-called stacking strategy. So you build up the smaller, easier habit, and on top of it you start building another one, a more complex, sophisticated skill. An interesting fact about building new habits is that it may take, according to the research which was conducted in 2010, that building a new skill can take from 18 days to 267, I guess, days. So, and median is 66 days until it gets more or less automatic. And if you miss out one day of not doing your whatever you are trying to, whatever habit you're trying to build in, missing one day actually doesn't matter for the final result. So I don't want you to get discouraged by the news that it's not 21 days to build a new habit as it was commonly so far considered so far. It's not 21 days, it's actually somewhat in between, at least 18 to almost a year, or 8 months and a half. Another interesting thing about building a new habit is that we are easily discouraged when we face that long-term goals. We get lazy, we think, oh, I don't need this anymore, too much effort, and so on. And one of the way to persevere and stick to your habit, to the daily routine, is daily routine, make it a daily routine for yourself, is actually to touch the reward to the action themselves, not to the results, because I couldn't see the result of my stretching for a very long while, actually, because every time I made the split, it was like that much still left, that much is still left, and over 6 months only, it was more or less comfortable. So for 6 months, I learned how to reward myself for the routine I'm doing instead of the result I saw. All this is about is that dopamine is the neurochemical which is responsible for our reward system, which means that dopamine could be released when we are achieving something. It's a reward system which is built in us by Mother Nature. And if we are redefining what reward is for us, that's one of the keys to achieve the new habit to build in. In conclusion, I want to say that building new habit can take somewhat between 18 days to almost a year. Don't get discouraged by that number. Instead of focusing on the result, it is very important to focus on the everyday routine, on the actions you are taking. Probably that's it for today. Thank you for watching my videos. See you next time.